Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. People are still trying to explain how in the world could Mitt Romney lose this presidential election. And they still do not understand, although I explained beforehand why he would lose. I made it very clear that the three R's of Romney, Ryan, and the Republicans could not defeat Barack Obama. I made it very clear that the only three R's that could beat Obama were revival, repentance, and Mary's Rosary. Instead, however, of showing that America has repented, America has fallen deeper into the cesspool of immorality. 3 states, in fact, even legalized homosexual and lesbian marriage. Those states were Maine, Maryland, and Washington. Don't those people in those states know that this is a physical impossibility? Now, I've got 2 extension cords here, and I want to demonstrate for you how it is physically impossible for 2 males to marry each other or 2 females to marry each other. It is totally unnatural. Now, if we look at this extension cord, we have the male end and the female end, as I'm sure you are all familiar, and the male end fits into the female end perfectly, just like that. It is impossible for a male to join with another male. See how that works? It doesn't work. It's impossible. Same way with the female. The female end of an extension cord will not fit into the female end of another extension cord. You people in Maine and Maryland and Washington, don't you understand? You might just as well pass a law that water now runs uphill. Why don't you pass a law negating the law of gravity? As long as you're going to try to change nature, why not go all the way? It is physically impossible for 2 males to marry or for 2 females to marry. And I don't mean to just pick on homosexuals or lesbians. Any of you who are practicing fornication or adultery or pornography or masturbation, you are just as guilty. All of those sexual sins are prophesied to be common in the end times, but they are still a violation of the 10 Commandments. In fact, from my own personal experience with people like Anderson Cooper or Stephen Colbert, I have found Anderson Cooper to be much fairer. Mr. Cooper has had me on his ridiculous 5 times. And even though he is making fun of me, he allows me to respond. Whereas the married Mr. Stephen Colbert blocks my response video. He will not let me answer him. Now, I held up an extension cord before, and now I'm holding up Mary's Rosary. And for those of you who are afflicted with same-sex attraction, try praying one Hail Mary. Mary is the one who could have defeated Obama, and she will defeat the Antichrist. And she can also bring you into a life of sexual purity. And now let's take a look at this rise of the Antichrist. Because Barack Obama is of no longer any use to the New World Order. In Daniel, chapter number 11, the first 12 verses are divided into a 4-4-4 sequence. That indicates Barack Obama. The next 18 verses are divided into a 6-6-6 sequence. That indicates that the Antichrist will defeat Barack Obama. But remember, those 18 verses in Daniel 11 are followed by 15 verses in a 5-5-5 sequence. And what that indicates is that Mary's Rosary will ultimately defeat the Antichrist. And Jesus uses the same kind of verse structure in Matthew 24 to also indicate that Mary's rosary will be his weapon to defeat the Antichrist. And therefore we find that verses 9 through 26, which I call the tribulation verses, are divided into a 666 sequence. And the next 15 verses, that is 27 through 41, are divided into a 555 sequence. Those are the victory verses. This is how Jesus will defeat the Antichrist, as he himself is indicating. And as I have mentioned many times on this program, if there is one good thing that will come out of the victory of Barack Obama in this last election, is that Americans are beginning to understand that you cannot defeat one of the beasts in Bible prophecy through anything other than supernatural means. And as always, I do offer a free copy of my book, Revelation Unraveled, for those of you who might be interested. Simply write to the address you see on your screen, or you can drop me a private message to my YouTube channel.